You're listening to the Dailey Dowens on WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish.
Hey, baby, won't you look my way? I can be your new
6:01 here on a Monday afternoon. We are back after spring break, alive and well, and we're on time today. This is really
There we
surprising.
go.
I didn't think we were going to get here, but we're here, back with another show, the Dailey Dowens on WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish, David Owens, Chris Dailey, returning after a week's sabbatical. Chris, I want to hear all about it. How was your spring break?
It was a great spring break, David. Had a great time being back home in New Jersey, visiting a few friends in college at Westchester and Widener, two schools out in Pennsylvania outside of Philadelphia. Great time with them, and then went to visit my brother as well up at Rutgers. Spent a lot of time with my family, my grandmother, and even saw my grandfather on my mom's side who lives up north 2 hours, so went up to see him. It was a really restful break. It was a good break. Got a few things done that I wanted to get done. Ran a lot. I've been training for the Holy Half. So
Yeah, how's that going?
It's been going good, man. The training block is starting to ramp up. Have a few miles. Actually, I have to lock today, which I haven't been able to do yet because it's been snowing out, been busy. So we'll do that after this show probably. But yeah, it's been a whole lot of fun, man. Getting fit, that's kind of the main goal, just building up the aerobic base. As you know, you're a cross-country guy. Got to build up the base, go slow, go long, and then few workouts here and there, but I do need to build some speed, man. If I don't want to get embarrassed out there, should I say? Because I'm trying to run a decent time, man. You know?
You at least got to build the lungs. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
You got to get that. You got to get the endurance. I like all the stamina you're talking about, and then speed comes next.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just natural, especially for marathons. It's a lot more natural than building up for like sprints.
Sure.
But hey,
it's
I believe
really
in
just
you,
about
Chris. You're gonna
sustaining
ball
a decent pace, right? Because
Yeah.
I could hold an 8-minute mile pace for a while, I feel like. But can I get to 7:15 for a half marathon in a few weeks? Probably not, but that's the goal.
It's worth a
And
shot.
It is worth a shot. That's why I'm going to train for that. I'm going to shoot for the stars, and if I end up, what's the saying? You shoot for the moon, end up amongst the stars? I think that's what I'm doing.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
We
But
got to visit your brother in college. Any good college stories? Anything crazy happen?
a lot of crazy stuff happened. If I talk about it on air, I might get yelled at by. No, I'm joking. No, it was good, man. You know what college kids do on a Friday night. Like, it was a good time, and I'm happy I was able to see him. I will say I had the best pizza of my life at Rutgers. There's this place called Danny's Pizza. It's right by all the frat houses there, and it's just this little pop-up well, not pop-up shop. It's a little, hole-in-a-wall type of shop. You go in, that pizza had the perfect crunch on it, David. The perfect crunch.
Really?
You like that?
I love it. And I'll tell you, I also had another slice of pizza. That was the largest slice of pizza I've ever had. It was bigger than my face. It was probably about this big, and that was out in Philadelphia. Really good
It's
slice.
like that Man versus Food show.
Yeah,
I love that
we
show.
should start doing food reviews, although I don't know if that's really radio conducive.
We did cupcakes.
We did cupcakes. Yeah, shout out to Feminist Club. David, curious
Shout out.
to hear about your break real quickly, how it was for you.
Yeah, I went down to Fort Lauderdale in Florida.
Yeah.
Fort Loudy, as they call it.
Oh.
It was pretty riled up. I don't know. Not my crowd. It was an experience. I saw a lot, learned a lot, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I was glad I got out at the time I did because I got really sick at the start of break, recovered well, and then I get there and I was like, I didn't have enough, like I didn't get groceries at the start, so we're just Uber Eats and getting food. My Uber Eats at the last day took like 3.5 hours, whatever. It's
Yeah, sure.
I gave my grace to the lady. It happens. When I was stepping out there, our neighbors were yelling about someone going to jail. They were screaming about, I paid $1,000 for this and this. I'm not going down for this. And then just
Were they college
hell
kids?
broke loose. No, like grown adults.
Wow.
Looked like they were in some deep stuff. So I was like, I'm not standing out here anymore. The Uber Eats driver can bring it to the door. I'm not going to get involved in any of this.
You gotta
Whatever
look at
it
the
was, I have
police
no clue.
log
Yeah.
or something. You can look up the police records and everything for certain days. So you could look that up online.
Hey, 16th Street down in Florida. That
Wow.
might be where someone was arrested maybe a day or two ago.
Real interesting stuff there.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, hey, stayed above the law. Thankfully. There was
God
a lot
bless.
of interesting stuff. Some streamers there trying to do challenges. There was this one linebacker-looking guy going across the beach saying, "Who wants to wrestle me? I'll pay you, and I'll wrestle you, and I'll fight you." And I was just... So he asked to wrestle, like, three of like me and my friends at the same time.
Sure.
And we're like, nah, man, we're good.
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, but
Grown man?
yeah, grown dude trying to
Okay.
wrestle some little
That
boys.
dude's gotta mature a little.
Oh, well, yeah. So I didn't get into any of that. Yeah, so it was good. Hey, good to get some sun. I don't know if
Oh,
you can
yeah.
see by the camera. Hey,
You got some color.
First off, we got new cameras.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention that. Shout out Pete Farrow, our wonderful technical director. He went in here all over break and was testing everything, showed me the ropes. And
awesome.
We got some new stuff. Our cameras are motion censored now. I don't know if you could see. Yeah, so that was good stuff. I came back a little more tan. I don't know if the radiation is picking up on camera, but hey, feels good. It was good to get some sun, and I come back here.
That's huge.
It's a blizzard. I was shocked.
Real interesting story. So today, Lou Holtz had his funeral in the Holtz family on campus. I went to it with Kira and Amali, who are in Notre Dame student media as well. And it was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. Tons of notable people there. Brian Kelly on campus today for the funeral. Don't know if you heard that. Brady Quinn as well. Jerome Bettis I was able to run into, say hello to, which was awesome. And just anybody you can imagine on all of Lou's teams throughout the years here at ND and even at his other stops. So the point is, though, when he was getting buried, they had the procession, right? They come around Main Circle by the Golden Dome. They play the alma mater for him. The Notre Dame band was out there. It was really cool. They drive off to Cedar Grove Cemetery. About 10 minutes later, right when he's getting buried, actually, the snow stops and the sun comes out. And you couldn't see the Golden Dome from Main Circle because it was snowing so much. You could see the Golden Dome for just that minute, and then it started snowing again. And that was really serene. It was a real special moment to be there for that and to be like, wow, this is a divine moment. And it was awesome. Now, in terms of the mass itself, the biggest thing, I took away were two things. One, I believe it was his son Skip who said this. It might have been Father John Jenkins who delivered the homily, former president of Notre Dame. He said, faith wasn't just an addition in Lou's life, it was the foundation. So it wasn't just something he added on to all of his other things. It was his core and his North Star. And then also, Lou was always asking people, what can I do for you? And even when he was in hospice and he could barely talk, he was, asking people that came into the room, what can I do for you? And that kind of shows type of man he was. And yeah, real great day here on campus.
Yeah, I mean, that's a phenomenal send-off for a phenomenal man.
Yeah.
Someone that really lived a great life. And I know you got to experience the funeral. I wish I could have gone. I think I was in class. But, I mean, it's for the family, first and foremost. So I'm glad to see that people got to show out, especially people like Brian Kelly. I know that he's been recently praising Notre Dame a lot. And I'm not saying that's why he was at the funeral, but it was good to see former coaches pay their respects regardless of their current football situation and relationship with the team, So it was good. I think that was a proper way to send off a guy like that. And
totally.
Lou, incredible life. We touched on it a lot last week, so we don't need to go into too much of the way he lived his life, but it was nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And yeah, very grateful I had the chance to be not really a part of it, but just to be in attendance for it.
Yeah, you got to meet Lou this year, didn't you?
Yeah, against Texas A&M. He was out there smoking a pipe, and yeah, what a guy. My dad actually also got me a cameo, which I never even mentioned to anybody here on campus.
That's
cool.
Lou.
Last year when I was still at Holy Cross, and Lou was just giving me some motivation and advice, and he said motivation is like bathing. You need it every single day because motivation can wane. And yeah, what a guy. What a guy. But we got a lot to talk about, David.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Lou, I know he loved baseball. And listen, man, the World Baseball Classic has been a treat to watch. Don't know if you've caught too much of the action. I've been able to catch in here and there. And gosh, Paul Skeens for the U.S. has been nothing short of terrific. This U.S. team with a big win over the Dominican. And then you just look around. I look at an Italy team that no one were really expected to make a run, and that they are. They've been on a tear so far in the WBC.
Yeah, so for anyone who hasn't tuned in, this has been like the past couple days is what I've been all over. I love this series, and I think it needs to happen at least every other year because it should be a near yearly tradition where these guys come together, and it's getting people to show out finally and get more respect for baseball across the world, not just in the U.S., because I feel like it's kind of pinholed as America's pastime. But at the same time, I mean, countries are doing pretty well. They're holding their own. Like you said, I love to see Italy. They had a huge game against Puerto Rico. They actually play tonight against the Dominican Republic. Yep. But the way they just go out there with the home run, you got the espresso machine, little kiss on the cheek, and then they just keep at it.
Or they got Venezuela tonight.
Yeah. Oh, wait, it was Venezuela?
Yeah, so U.S.
Oh, we have the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, we just beat, the United States just beat the Dominican Republic thanks to Paul Skeens on the mound.
Right.
He got the bump there starting that game, and he had a big-time performance. They beat them 2-1 on the final pitch. It was a nice strikeout there for the U.S. And
was it a strike, though?
Was it a strike? Yeah, that is the question, right? That is the question. I mean, listen, it probably wasn't, but hey, potato, potato.
Well, the U.S. Part of my my correction. The U.S. did beat Dominican Republic, and Paul Skeens, he had an all right outing. I think he had like 4 1/3 innings pitched, like maybe two strikeouts, 1 home run given up, and 1 earned run. So it was fine. I mean, like Paul Skeens being Paul Skeens, didn't really give up too much. Nothing really happened.
Yeah.
But nothing really heated on his end. Just all around solid defensive side, and hey, got them the win. A little 2-1 victory. Move on to the finals. On the other side, Italy faces Venezuela, who is coming off a very hot win after upsetting the past champions, Japan.
Wow.
Did you see that game?
I wasn't able to. I saw some of the highlights. Gosh, Venezuela was going crazy. Their head coach isn't even getting paid. But this country, man, they are feeling the madness. That's the beauty of sports right there. And, yeah, I'm real happy for Venezuela. And just the run that they've had has been awesome, what it's done for the country there.
Right, the Braves' very own Ronald Acuna got a home run off Yamamoto. And then finally, Wilye Abreu had the greatest bat flip I have ever seen.
I did see that.
Oh, my
How high
goodness.
did that thing go?
He just launched it into the air. It wasn't even a flip at that point. It was just a
Yeah.
see ya. He never wanted that
Wow.
bat ever again. And I was a little scared because I saw Acuna on the other side jumping up and down for his team. I was like, better watch that ACL. But either way, that was an incredible game. It really shows that nothing was promised here at the World Cup or at the World Baseball Classic. excuse
Yeah,
me.
so speaking of the World Cup, down like kind of that idea of once every 4 years. What is the World Baseball? Is it once every 4 year thing?
It's happened 6 times since 2003. So it's just been on
They
and
kind
off.
of pick and choose.
Right. I think they were going to get consistent, and then
They
COVID
should
happened.
make it every other year.
Yeah, so it's
That's what I
2023 was
think.
the last time.
I think if you have it every year, it ruins the prestige a little bit just because
Definitely.
it gets saturated. Once every 4 years is great for soccer, but that's already established in like the Olympics and whatnot. And it is really prestigious because it's so scarce. A player will only have so many opportunities to win it. I mean, you look at Leo Messi, that could have been his final chance. Maybe he cracks the Argentina roster. He probably will this summer. But it's not like he's going to be the big-time player that he once was. And the same can be said about Ronaldo. So like once every 4 years, that's special there. I think once every 2 years, though, just to grow the game for baseball, it would be very important, both domestically in the United States and globally. Now, would be curious to see if they could go to other countries possibly with the World Baseball Classic. Don't just limit it to the United States. Try to get into other stadiums around the world. But yeah, I what do you think, David? What do you think they should do with this?
I agree. I think it should at least be consistent. Make it happen on a a biannually or triannually time, whether it's 2 or 3 years. I think 4 is too long.
Yeah.
Like you said, especially the way Tommy John surgeries are going left and right.
Sure.
Especially pitchers don't have as much time span on their career with people asking for so much velocity out of them and so much just wear and tear on their arm.
Yeah.
They don't get as many chances as you would hope so. So I like every 2 years. That's a way that it becomes consistent, builds baseball up and continues to grow around the world, but doesn't build it into the preseason, because that's the one thing you want to avoid as well. You don't want to make it something where it's just so routine. It's like, okay, let's just go out for the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes run-of-the-mill, like, oh, yeah, we got some games to play. You want it to become an event that people are watching, people are wanting to go to. It's still, it's picking up good viewership, especially these next, like, couple of games.
Yeah.
The group stages never get as much attention as, like, a World Cup would. Of
course.
But that's expected. It's the first couple of years.
Yeah.
It continues to build up, and games are getting better and better as we go. So make it a consistent thing. I'd love for it to be 2 years. At least make it 3, maybe.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they do with this. It also depends upon the Olympics and other things as well. You don't want to overlap with the Olympics. Now, funny question here for you. Italy has been a team that's impressed me. They actually topped the group with the U.S. They have a kid from my hometown, Wall Township, New Jersey, a small town of 25,000 to the Jersey Shore, named Andrew Fisher, who is the #1 third base prospect in all of baseball. So I've been following Italy pretty closely because he was a senior when I was a sophomore. He was a superstar, of course, in high school. Goes to Duke, sets the freshman home run record there, then goes to Ole Miss, then to Tennessee. He did one of those Kevin Durant 3 teams in 3 years sort of deals, kind of followed the NIL money, but can you really blame him? He's a terrific talent. So he's been on a great run of form for Italy. Now, he's one of many. I'm not going to say how many. I'm going to say how many players are from Italy. That is the question of the day. How many players were born in the country of Italy on this Italy team, David?
Okay. I'm going to say 3.
Bingo.
Huge.
Three.
Actually, okay.
It's three. There's three pitchers. So you got
Yeah.
Sam Aldegheri, 24 years old, first MLB pitcher, born and raised in Italy. So he's actually played in the MLB. And then you got two guys, Gabriele Quattrani and Claudio Scott, who both play in the Italian Baseball League. Scott played in the minors a little bit before going back to the Italian Baseball League, which then makes me beg the question, rather, the Italian Baseball League, that is a thing. I looked it up. In fact, there's 33 teams. Like soccer overseas, it's got promotion and relegation, which you don't really see in baseball. I find that pretty cool. And the winner of the league actually goes to the European Champions Cup the next season, which is the Champions League of baseball in Europe. I never knew baseball was really a thing in Europe and that existed and that there was some sort of organized league, but apparently it is, and there's people playing baseball out in Italy.
See, I'm 50-50 on how much I love actually having Italians on an Italian team, or just in general, having people from your own country play for the team, because I think it's great. And I was a little bit shocked. I was listening to the radio earlier this morning with my old job, and they were talking about, wow, an Italy pitcher ended the game and won it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's great, but shouldn't that be kind of the norm for an Italian team to have an Italian guy ended on the mound?
So here's
I
the
don't
thing
know.
with
It's
U.S.
tough.
soccer, there's so many different countries in soccer, France per se, right? A lot of those guys they're born in Africa. A lot of them were immigrants on that team. And not all of them. Like Mbappe was born in France, but yeah, it's something that you see in soccer a lot too with the U.S. Men's national team, right? Serginho Dest, our starting fullback, and there's so many other players on this team who were born and raised in Europe, and they play for the U.S. team because of ancestry. And Tony Robinson, another great example, one of the best players on this U.S. team. So
I mean, Balogun,
I don't
one
know.
of the
Balogun. So Balogun as well, right? The thing is, I just don't like when it's like great-great-grandfather or great-great-great-grandfather is how you're getting on the team. Because in soccer, it's like, okay, your grandparents are from that country. That makes sense. Your grandparents, you probably know them. If we're going like 4 or 5 generations back now, that's kind of caught it, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. I think, well, at the same time, you would love to see as many Italians on the team, but it's guys with heritage. I mean, it's not like what's a good example? It's not like Will Smith is going to play for Italy, you know? Like it's guys that at least have an Italian name.
Well, they have to, right? They have
right.
to have the heritage. But the question is, how far can it go back?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's tough. It would kind of stretch it if you have to be from the country, because then you wouldn't have a team like it. As tough it is to say.
You have to do that in international sports, and there's teams that really get hindered, especially in soccer. You look around the world, there's a few countries that don't allow foreigners or guys born outside their country to play for their teams, and if they did, they would be a whole lot better, especially in Asia. This is pretty prevalent. You have to allow that. But yeah, the question is like, how do you navigate it, you know? I just don't think it should be like you're 5 generations ago, your grandfather came here on a boat.
No, I agree.
The same thing happened for me in Germany.
That's
and
like
Italy, or not Italy, Ireland. Ireland I'm a bit closer to, and Scotland. But like Germany, that's so far back in the Dailey Dowens family, and there's no chance I would ever represent Germany.
That is the one thing. It's like Jazz Chisholm playing for Great Britain. It's like his ancestors were born on an island that Great Britain owned, like, during
Jamaica.
imperialism.
So Jamaica, all those countries represent Great Britain. I guess it makes sense you can fill a team, but
yes,
yeah, it's
it makes it exciting. There's more than one team at this point, because it
totally.
If it was all you have to be born and living in your country, it'd all be the U.S.
Yeah,
and then it wouldn't be exciting. I like that you're spreading out teams a little bit. Hopefully,
and it's a good way to grow the game.
That's what I was gonna say. Eventually, it'll build up to more and more, like you said, for Italy, more Italians actually on the team, as people see, wow, these guys are really representing my country. I want to represent my country like that. It's a good way. It's like the way hockey grew after the Miracle on Ice. Hockey in the U.S. just blew up, and it's going to do that same thing again after Jack Hughes' tear in the Olympics, you know? So it's going to be a way for the sport. I like the way it's trending. Make it consistent. I think that's a good way.
Yeah, Joel Embiid is also a good example. National teams in basketball.
With Eurobasket?
He played for Cameroon, and then he played for the Olympic team.
That's the one thing.
The U.S. Olympic team.
That's my one issue, is don't switch your team. I think when you pick a team, stick with it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's tough when people were saying, "Oh, I was this nationality, but actually I'm also this," and then let me switch up my passport a little bit and see what I can work with.
Yeah.
I think you got to switch with. I think you got to stick with one. That's the one thing, is stick with the country you're representing, because that's what makes international sports so exciting. Is it's more than just money in representing some program. It's representing the country that you love.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. It's not amateur, but it's got that amateur heart to it. You know what I mean? Like the pureness of college sports that we once had that were getting stripped away from us. International sports has that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about a little more college sports coming up after this break. Selection Sunday was yesterday. We finally got to see our first look at the March Madness bracket, with play starting tomorrow. So we're getting ready to go for that. And this is the best time of the year. We got March Madness coming up. We got the Masters coming up. We got even more Notre Dame sports, all here on the Dailey Dowens, WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish. We'll see you soon.
Baby, come back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Baby, come back.
You're listening to WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish. Tune into the Dailey Dowens every Monday and Thursday at 6. All the best sports content, all in one place.
Hey Irish, if you want to hear the news from campus this week, watch some exciting segments, or learn about this coming weekend's campus events, make sure to tune in to ND Sunrise, which airs every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on the NDTV YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, join us at Shamrock Sports after sunrise at 3:30 for everything you need to know about Notre Dame athletics. That's 3:30 right here on NDTV every week.
Catch up on all the news around Notre Dame hockey with the voice of the Irish. Tyler Reedy joins Jack Rinaldi and Ryan Murphy every Monday from 6 to 7, only on WVFI.
You're listening to the Dailey Dowens on WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish.
Yeah, you are here. 6:24 on a Monday afternoon. We're right back after spring break, back in action. You know what else is back in action? Finally, college basketball returns. It's March. We're already halfway through March, but I always like to say it's March just for the feel of it.
I got a funny joke, actually.
Yeah,
dude.
let's hear it.
So back in high school, when one of my friends or I were going to shoot our shot, usually with a girl,
Oh, all right.
we would say, hey, it's March, baby. So, in March.
She better be ready for that.
In March, when you just chuck up a half-court shot, or, you're just doing something crazy in general, like, I didn't study for a test, but hey, it's March. I'm going to get a good grade. I would go into, or a track meet. I would say to my buddies, fellas, it's March. Let's dance.
No. Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No. So, anyways, that's kind of just an inside joke in my friend group, and something we still say to this day, even when it's not March. But when it is March, it's pretty special.
Has it worked?
Yeah, it's worked. I've
greens.
I've said not with the girls, probably.
Oh, all right.
No, and me, no, maybe. I'm not gonna disclose that information. But what I will say is, in life, when I risk take a little bit and I say it's March, sometimes it works, man.
That's what we're effing talking about.
Yeah, love it. All right. Well, I can't say I might bring that up. That's gonna be my new thing.
It's March.
It's March. Well, it is March, and we got some good tournament play coming up this Tuesday. We already got games. We got UMBC versus Howard, 2 16 seeds battling out. They call it a playing game? Is that like the official term?
Yeah.
Okay, well, playing game. And then another one later that night at 9:15, actually a really good game, Texas versus NC State. A little SEC versus ACC action, all for the West region. So it's going to be good. I'm excited to see who can pull out and actually finalize this 64 that we're about to see in the next coming weeks. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I'm hoping it's St. John's. I love Rick Pitino. I was watching the Big East tournament over break. Listen, I'm a big Seton Hall guy, and St. Johnny's, fortunately, they beat my Pirates. I was about to go to Seton Hall, actually. You know who went to Seton Hall? John freaking Fanta, legend of the Big East, voice of the Big East.
Yeah.
Disregard. That makes no point into my actual point, which is St. John's. Man, they got some ball players on that team, and Rick Pitino is one heck of a coach. They're in a tough bracket, I'll tell you. Duke is in that side of the bracket. You got St. John's, Kansas, Louisville's a good team, Michigan State as well, and UConn. Like, that is the bracket straight out of hell, and I think St. John's could come out of that.
But speaking out of UConn, St. John's beat UConn by 20 points in the Big East final. It was a huge blowout.
They dominated, dude.
And it wasn't even close. It wasn't like this is dead time, we're pulling away. St. John's ran that entire game against a very good Huskies team. And you see the amount of coaches, like you said, Rick Pitino, Dan Hurley, who else you got in there?
In the Big
Shire,
East,
John Shire.
Yeah, in the Big East as a whole. I mean, you got Holloway with
Holloway as well.
And he did some great things with St. Peter's. But yeah, I mean, Ezra for St. John's is one heck of a player. 18 points, but 9 rebounds. He was just a real physical presence. And then that whole team, like all around, they got a lot of guys who just simply make shots. I really like Dylan Darling, 18 points, but kind of just ran the offense at times. And then Ian Jackson as well. You know, he's a big-time recruit, played for North Carolina as well. So they have so many players on the St. John's team that can make an impact. And, yeah, they're well coached, which that's what it comes down to in March.
Now, you mentioned they're playing well. How far do you have them going?
St. John's. So we're going to talk about Final Four, and we can jump straight into that.
Should we go for that, or should we talk about conference championships first?
Let's do Final Four. Why not?
Let's make it happen.
Because I think conference championships does play a role in this. I have St. John's going to the Final Four, and then I'm very boring otherwise. I have all the 1 seeds. Okay. I'm not really betting against Florida, especially after last year and what they did.
It's a very different team.
It's a very different team, and that's kind of just the NIL type of world we live in. But I do think Todd Golden is one of the best coaches in all of college basketball. Listen, they're coming off of a tough loss, but hey, they still had a great season. There's a reason why they're number 1. Arizona, probably the most talented team in the tournament. Top to bottom, I think Arizona's been the most impressive team on paper this season. So, yeah, look out for the Wildcats. Although Arizona is a team every year, I'm like, oh, they could win, and then they never do. And then finally, Michigan. They beat Gonzaga. They whooped Gonzaga actually back in November. Had a tough loss to Duke, but other than that, they beat a lot of really high-quality opponents. And I think Michigan, this is their year to march into the Final Four.
Pretty solid, yeah. I think Michigan is also my Final Four. Should I do a little teaser, or should I just...
Let's go. Let's go. What's your Final Four?
Yeah, all right. Here we go. You got 2 1 seeds. You got Duke on the top left, on the eastern side. And in the Midwest, you got Michigan. Those are my 2 1 seeds. I think they're up there for a reason. We saw them duke it out, no pun intended, earlier in the regular season, and that was the best game of the season. It was 2 teams that were clearly just beyond everyone else, and I think that's the way it's going to be in the tournament. Yeah. There's a lot of craziness and madness that happens in March, but sometimes there's just teams that are just like, you got to understand that they're on a whole nother level than your little shenanigans going on. So Duke's up there. I think Boozer... Hopefully he's going to the Hawks. I don't know. We'll talk about that later with the NBA draft. But Boozer looks like a professional through and through. Michigan also up there with a very just well-rounded team overall. And then my south side is Houston actually upsetting Florida. I think Houston's a solid team. They've disappointed me at times, especially against Texas Tech when JT Toppin whooped them at home. They had a huge blowout loss against Texas Tech. However, I think the Cougars are still in there for a reason. They're a number 2 seed for a reason. They've been consistent the entire year, and that's kind of what sometimes it can come down to in March when you have a mostly healthy roster and you've proven yourself time and time again throughout the regular season. So those are my 3. Up in the West, I know you had Arizona going far. I have Arkansas, the Razorbacks, taking it to the Final Four. They are a number 4 seed. I don't think that even goes near to what they are worth. Darius Acuff is one of the best players in all of college basketball. He's averaging about 23 right now. Dropped 30 in the final against the Vanderbilt Commodores here in the SEC.
It's Coach Cal Guard, man. They're dangerous.
I love them. This has been... See, I pick random basketball teams. This is kind of my thing during March Madness, and I stick with them, even like throughout multiple years. Baylor has always been one. I loved Keontae George and what he did 3 years ago. 4 years ago, Arkansas, the Razorbacks were my team back when Jalen Williams, not the one Len, that's the starter in Oklahoma City, but the backup, Jalen Williams. He was an incredible player. There was another guy that was with him.
Was that the year they lost to Oral Roberts?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a tough.
I predicted that. It was one of my
tough
upsets.
team.
I was like, Oral Roberts. I actually watched their conference championship game late at night one night. Just ESPN was on. That was the only conference championship game I watched that wasn't like a big one. So I said to myself, why not pick Oral Roberts? And
It worked.
yeah, I'm still talking about it 4 years from the day, though. So
Yeah,
you can
that'll
tell
happen.
I don't get too many upsets.
Yeah, that's huge. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But right now, I think Arkansas is finally going to have their chance in the tournament. They kind of blew up in the SEC tournament. Nobody really expected them to go that far. And then they proved themselves. I think they're going to do it here again, making it to the Final Four. We were actually supposed to go, but unfortunately, did you hear the news? Got denied.
Unfortunate.
From media passes. Apparently, only teams that are in the tournament. Makes sense. Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it would have been fun to be down there in Indianapolis. Either way, I'm going to be sticking with this tournament throughout the entirety of March.
So here's something. In the last however many years, a team that has won, in the past 21 seasons, how about championship teams have been 20 out of 21 of them have been top 25 in Ken Pom adjusted offensive efficiency. 17 out of 21 are top 25 in the adjusted defensive efficiency. Teams that fit that criteria this year: Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Houston. And then also there's a few other ranks, like 21 out of 21 have been ranked top 12 in a Week 6 AP poll. 15 out of 17 ranked top 5 in some other random stats. So, yeah, Duke, Michigan, Arizona, Houston are the teams to watch according to that metric. And then in terms of just adjusted offense and defense, the top 25 in both, it's Arizona, Duke, Florida, Houston, Iowa State, a team to watch out for, Louisville, Michigan State, and Michigan. So those are the teams people are saying could statistically win if history does repeat itself.
And I think this year statistics play more into factor, especially in the later rounds, more than ever. I think it's tough to really have teams and the low seeds. I mean, we saw teams like San Diego State, I believe they were an 8 seed like 3 or 4 years ago going into the Final Four. It's been a more recent trend where teams that are lower seeded are making their way farther and farther into the tournament, especially seeds in the double digits.
Yeah.
They haven't made the Final Four, but they're pushing Elite 8, and it's kind of coming around the time where you could see a double-digit seed break into the Final Four eventually. However, this is the year where there's just 4 or 5 distinct teams that it's going to take a miracle for them to not make the Final Four.
Yeah, I think the days of a 10 seed like a San Diego State a few years ago making the Final Four, or even the Elite 8, it's gone. David.
It might have been a short stint.
Because of NIL,
Right.
all of the top players from these teams the next year just go to the Dukes of the world. And not necessarily Duke, they actually recruit. But, St. John's, Florida especially, 2 teams I have in the Final Four competing against each other are guys. Those are teams that take a lot of guys. So, yeah, it's tough. Like, you look at Furman, a lot of their players will probably be poached at their 15 seed. But especially the 12, 13 seeds that everybody seems to know and love, they all go to the big dogs at the end of the day.
Right, and looking at last year's Final Four, even Elite 8, last year the Final Four was 4 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Before that, the Elite 8 was 4 1 seeds, 3 2 seeds, and 1 3 seed. So it's just all the top dogs making their way into the bracket. It's got a lot to do with NIL. It's got a lot to do now with 1-year standoff players that are ready to just go to the draft, and everyone wants to form super teams now instead of making their own.
Yeah, guys flip around so much.
It's
Even
a
guys
lot.
that are just
Transfer
average
portal.
ACC players. Like I'm announcing Notre Dame games for VFI, and I'm researching some of these players. There's guys who have been on 4 teams in 4 years in the ACC, like Duke, Wake, or not even Duke, Notre Dame, Wake, NC State, and some other team. And it's like, well, you've done nothing in your college career. Why don't you want to just find a home? And I guess they want all the merch that you get when you go to a new team, but it makes no sense to me, David.
Hey, it's good clothing. If your basketball career doesn't work out, you got a couple rags that you can throw on.
You got some nice dry fit shirts to work out at in the gym.
Flipping burgers at McDonald's and
Oh, come
wearing
on,
your,
that's mean.
your Duke men's basketball team.
Well, that's
shirt.
another thing. How do the transfers even credit? But listen, that's a whole nother
nobody-
topic for a different time. But yeah, let's talk about upsets, David. Really
Let's do
curious
it.
to hear about any little underdogs that you got an eye on. I know I have my eye on a few, but I want to hear it from the master first.
All right, so I've put a little bit of research into this.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, because what I do with my bracket is I always make a rough draft. This is intuition.
Okay.
It's what I'm feeling. It's a little bit of ball knowledge, me watching basketball throughout the year. Just loosely,
totally.
and then throwing it all on paper. And then I go back, look at the expert picks. Don't really make much of those because those guys just throw out brackets as well.
Yeah.
And then I go out there and I research the teams. And I'm like, okay, especially first round, that's where it matters most. It's what are these teams going to break into the bracket? One team I think is going to break into the bracket is High Point University.
Wow.
That's just intuition. I don't have a lot to go against High Point. I don't think Wisconsin was that impressive a team throughout the entire year. They haven't done a whole lot, especially being in such a powerful conference and having a lot of times to prove themselves.
I mean,
High Point.
they beat Michigan once.
Yeah,
But I'm
that's about it.
Wisconsin. High Point is a team that's been getting a lot of praise.
They've had experience in the tournament now, and that's what I like the best. Some of these lower seeds come back as lower seeds for a reason, especially in these lower conferences where it's really tough to break into the tournament if you're not the standoff team. High Point has been that standoff team, and I think they have a chance to do it. 2 more upsets here real quick. I think VCU is going to beat North Carolina. Kind of a shocker. North Carolina, obviously a big dog. VCU won the Atlantic 10 against the Dayton Flyers, 70-62.
Wow.
Meanwhile, UNC put up a good fight against Duke without Caleb Wilson, but I don't really think that you can make anything of that. It's such a close rivalry game that I don't know if we'll ever have a non-close Duke-North Carolina game ever again.
Yeah.
And it was a high-scoring game in dead time, but in the first half, UNC put up their own. I don't think they're going to get it done in the tournament. Finally,
You think VCU beats North Carolina?
yes, first round.
Holy
VCU is an 11
smokes.
seed.
I have them right now in
UNC
my
is a
bracket.
6.
I have them in my bracket, VCU winning, just because I'm like, all right, VCU, it's kind of a fun team. Why not? But I'm not very confident in that, David.
It's a lot of injuries versus a team that's been hot, got all the way to the tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like again. This is either way.
I like to
They're
agree with you on that
neither
one, yeah.
team's making it past.
How
the
about
first
Penn,
round.
man?
I like Penn.
That one guy who got 44 points.
I guess. I mean, if you throw that out there, I'm gonna give you one more before I send it off to you.
Yeah.
This is Moonshot. This is gonna be. I don't usually do a second bracket. I might have to do it just for this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little hand motion. If you can see it, if you're watching YouTube, check out our YouTube stream. You might be able to see this. Do you know what this is?
The skull?
Any idea?
Give me 1 second.
Fins up.
Oh, LIU.
LIU, Long
LIU,
Island
dude,
University.
no shot.
No, they're not going to be Arizona.
Okay.
But wouldn't that be so great? I
That
have
would be.
loved following them the
Have you-
past week and a
did we-
half. I had no idea.
Did
they
you
were-
announce they were here?
Were they?
Yeah, for maybe, I think it was their men's team. Yeah, for one of the first games of the year, I announced for them on VFI.
Hey, there we
Notre
go.
Dame, Long Island.
Those guys traveled. That's a pretty solid team. I love to see LIU finally getting their shot. I didn't even know. This is me like not even knowing this was a solid basketball team. I love seeing them actually get into the tournament and the amount
Yeah.
of culture they have around their team for such a small school.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see. That is a team that if they could be a 16 upset, that would be the one I would love to see.
David, if they could be, they would
That's
be.
my take.
It is your take, and that take is terrible. LIU is not winning.
No, I know.
LIU lost to Notre Dame by over 20 points. Any team that lost to Notre Dame by 20-plus points is not beating Arizona, sadly. But listen, a kid can dream, and
That's my dream. That's
Yeah.
my one moonshot. If you got to make a second bracket, just for fun, put LIU.
all
in
right.
there. Why not?
I know you're very hot on Arkansas, and not Rick Pitino, John Calipari, who's a great coach. Coach Cal, one of the best. And I mentioned, Coach Cal guard because Coach Cal guards notoriously are superstars in the NBA, and Darius Acuff looks to be the next one in this lineage. But this Hawaii team, David, they've been getting hot at the right time. Apparently, a lot of people have been hyping up Hawaii. I don't know. I might hop on the Hawaii bandwagon. Why not? That would be a whole lot of fun. Do I think they're going to win? No, but I do think that could be a too close for comfort type of game right there, and one to keep your eye out for. I do think a 10 versus 7 seed I do have Missouri beating Miami, partly because I don't want Miami to win, and anytime I see Miami play, I always root against them. They're okay when they came to South Bend. I thought they had a fine game, but listen, man, Laurie McFadden went to Missouri, so give me the
Love it.
Missouri
Shout out
Tigers.
Laurie.
Yeah, shout out Laurie. And then finally, a team I do think that could make a run. Not necessarily, in the round of 64, they are the favorite here, but UCLA. I could see UCLA sneaking in to the Sweet 16. And I don't know why. It's kind of just something where I'm like, yeah, I feel good about UCLA. I think they got hot at the right time. They had a close loss to Arizona. They had a close loss to Gonzaga. They had a close game at least. And this is a team that's just gotten better throughout the season. There's a kid from a few towns over I know that walked on at UCLA. So I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Total
Why
sidebar
not?
here.
Give me the Bruins to make a run at it.
Yeah, so that's your one long upset type break.
Yeah, I would say that, and maybe Kentucky, just
Yeah.
another 7 seed. Kentucky's blue blood, so wouldn't be shocked to see them outdo their seed at least, if that makes sense.
That's what
outplay
I
their
was.
seed.
I was just about to mention that is BYU is a team that's a 6 seed. I don't really
Yeah.
know if they are a 6 seed.
You think they're better?
I think they're a little better. I
Yeah,
think
they got some
March Madness
superstars.
comes down to individuals at the end of the day. AJ Devanspa is that individual.
Sure.
I think he's going to go number
Is
1.
he the
I would
number one
love
pick?
to see
Yeah.
him. I would love to see him go number 1. I don't think it's that one Kansas dude. What's his name? Shoot.
Darren
blanking.
Peterson.
Yeah, Darren Peterson. Sebbing himself out. I don't think teams want that. I think it's either even though he is a great player, I think it's Debansa or it's Boozer. And I would love to see Debansa go first. I think he's an electric player. He's going to be a great tournament guy.
Yeah.
And he's up there kind of like with Cohen Carr in terms of excitement, except he actually puts up a whole lot of points compared to Cohen Carr.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the Mormons do. Hopefully they make a run at it because I have them making a run just because of that guy. I've heard a lot about him, and I'm like, okay, he'll have a great tournament. So I had them winning a few games. I think I got them
All right.
sneaking into the Sweet 16.
Where do you see your bracket going wrong before we go to break real quick?
Oh, going
Any
wrong.
issues?
Yeah, just everywhere, especially St. John's going to the Final Four, though. St. John's 5 seed to the Final Four is bold. They're probably not that good of a team, but I'm just a Big East truther. Rarely do you see the Big East champion get the 5 seed. The Big East is a really good, conference for college basketball. And also, I hate how they have St. John's going all the way to San Diego, California to play their games. They really screwed over St. John's there. They got a really bad seed and just a bad beat. But, hey, never say never. I got them going to the Final Four no matter
All right.
what.
Well, I think my one issue, I'm going to have to rewrite this, but recently, earlier today, there was a little bit of a drug issue here with a Crimson Tide. Aiden Holloway is out for the tournament. Star
Really?
Alabama
Why?
player. He got caught for a drug felony charge, something to do with weed.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Weed's
Stay off
I'm
the pot.
joking.
Yeah, so he's gone.
If you're a superstar, it's like, dude, just drink your protein smoothies and
You don't need that extra stuff.
go to the league. No.
Yeah, it's not going to do it for you. Either way, he was caught. Hofstra has a little bit more of an advantage here against
Hofstra, there we
Yeah.
go.
Hofstra.
New
That would
York
be-
school. Come
that
on now.
would be an upset.
Shout out Hofstra, dude.
Yeah.
Really good student media at Hofstra, by the way.
Really?
Great school for student media. You know why? Because they're in the heart of the city, kind of, or just outside, rather. So they have some great opportunities. I know a few people that go there, and every year you see a few Hofstra kids do really well post-grad. So shout out Hofstra. Shout out student media, man.
Yeah, no shout out for Bama, though. Didn't pass the piss test.
No.
They're gone.
I
yeah.
can't imagine doing student media at like a big public school like that. Imagine a school nearly 5 times the size of Notre Dame and trying to break into that. Like, that's tough, man.
It's like Syracuse.
Yeah, well,
From
Syracuse
Missouri.
just has so many kids that go there for that specifically.
Yeah, it's a
You
lot
know?
of competition. Hey,
Yeah.
we're here. We got our own studio. They're just
Well,
like,
Notre Dame's great, man.
we
You
need
got
you.
all the amenities. You got a great top 25 team. This is a total sidebar here.
Yeah.
And that
trying to do
See?
your own.
I am trying to do my own thing.
okay.
I don't know if you're picking up
Making
what I'm
your own
putting
buttons.
down. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been super blessed. I mean, we're both super blessed to be here at ND. Perfect size, man, and what a school.
It's been great so far, and we're gonna keep it rolling right after this commercial break. We're actually gonna talk a little bit about Notre Dame. Let's make it happen
Let's do it.
because we got some baseball, we got some lacrosse, we got a little softball as well. Notre Dame is hot. The Fighting Irish getting up there.
In the meantime, we're taking a break.
Oh, little.
There we go.
Hey, there you go. You've been listening to your music.
I have.
I've been putting in my song requests. Shout out James Gunn. That's the one who got me this song. In the meantime, coming up for you here on WVFI.
You're listening to WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish. Tune into the Dailey Dowens every Monday and Thursday at 6. All the best sports content, all in one place.
Hey Irish, if you want to hear the news from campus this week, watch some exciting segments, or learn about this coming weekend's campus events, make sure to tune in to ND Sunrise, which airs every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on the NDTV YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, join us at Shamrock Sports after sunrise at 3:30 for everything you need to know about Notre Dame athletics. That's 3:30 right here on NDTV every week.
Catch up on all the news around Notre Dame hockey with the voice of the Irish, Tyler Reedy, joins Jack Rinaldi and Ryan Murphy every Monday from 6 to 7, only on WVFI.
Like we always do with this time, I go for mine, I get to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
You're listening to the Dailey Dowens on WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish.
That's right, the Dailey Dowens here. 6:47 on a Monday afternoon, counting you down the final remainder of this hour. Great radio. I think we're finally getting the groove of this. It's a good day.
Oh, it's a great day.
According to Kanye and according to us as well. We need to get a sponsor, I think. I think we got to get someone to finally.
This is the Daily Dowens, presented by Brew Burger.
Hey, free burgers? Well, that's where we can get our food. I think we need to get a restaurant, sponsor at least a segment, get dinner on Daily.
Why don't we get sponsors for like Shamrock, man? Because we can use it for Shamrock and this.
I love that. Let's whoever is going to be the sports director or the president next year, let's get some sponsors.
Trey Cody,
up in here.
you watching this?
Yeah. Hey, we could get a little vending machine or a little kitchenette up here. What if we get our own personal chef?
Okay, now we're just going too, we're going
we
too far.
We got a guy up here. Whatever you want for free.
Just puts it in the microwave.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, it wouldn't hurt. Either way, Notre Dame has been eating as well. That's a good transition right there.
Oh, I love it.
The women's basketball team are in the tournament. They are here for March. Men didn't have the same luck. Either way, Notre Dame made a very hot run throughout the ACC tournament. They beat Miami in the first round, 69-54, then went on to take on the Wolfpack and defeated NC State 81-63, and then a heartbreaking loss down in Duluth, Georgia against the Duke Blue Devils. It was a 2-point loss, final score 65-63. Duke went on to win the women's ACC tournament, and if you had to re-rank the bracket, I think you put Notre Dame at number 2 in the conference at least.
Yeah, Notre Dame has been just continuing to rise throughout the end of the season. It was a tough one in the ACC tournament. It was such a close loss to the Duke Blue Devils, but hey, they're in the tournament. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
The Wall Township Derby. My best friend, Dylan Bellata back home, goes to Fairfield.
Ooh.
I visited Fairfield. I have a Fairfield t-shirt I was wearing over break. You know that pizza I was telling you about that was bigger than my face? I was wearing a Fairfield t-shirt, and I took a picture of it because he couldn't come with us. I was visiting other friends. Whatever. Point is, Notre Dame Fairfield, I'm hyped up for this. The Irish and the Stags fire me up. The issue, the small issue, Ohio State in the round of 32. That could be a tough one for Notre Dame, and I don't know if they're going to get past the Buckeyes. But listen, we'll see when we get there.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame has a good chance. They're a 6th seed right now.
Yeah.
I don't think they're worth a 6th seed. I think this is another team that is going to play higher than their seeding.
They got the players, man. They really do.
They really do got the goods. I think Hannah Hidalgo is making her case. Has she already defined her case?
I think she's made the case to be the player of the year. The only worry is that Hidalgo wasn't on a team that was good enough. Olivia Miles might be the one who wins player of the year, actually, which would be very funny. But yeah, I look at Malaya Coles. I thought she's played better as of late. Sanchez and DeJesus have really impressed me. And then, you got Prosper as well, always coming in to help out and chip away for the Irish. And then Neil Ivey has been here before. She's been to the Sweet 16 3 times in a row. They've been bounced from the Sweet 16 3 times in a row. This is the year, man. This is the year. You got to feel it. It's in the air.
You got to cross
Notre
that
Dame
threshold.
Crosses that threshold. And it wouldn't be terrible considering beginning of the year, we're saying, hey, is Ivey still going to be the coach at Notre Dame come next year? And now we're like, okay, we've settled in. Ivey's a great coach. The players love her. And it's time. It's time.
This is really the year you got to do it. You have a team that honestly could have been better star-wise. I think the way they are playing right now, they don't need the stars. They don't need anything on paper. This is a team that is hot, that is good, and nobody can take that away from them. Now, before we get into the actual conference play, or excuse me, not conference play, the tournament play, I want to give a quick shout-out to one of my coworkers, Tim from Notre Dame Graphics. Called it on the spot. He said Notre Dame is going to be a 6 seed. TCU is going to be a 3 seed, and they're going to pit them against each other. Olivia Miles versus Hannah Hidalgo. He got that right. Now, they're different conferences. We're going to have to wait till at least the Final Four if we get to see a matchup between them.
Yeah.
But wow, that would have been a great matchup first round. You see the two best players in the country duke it out.
I don't know if we'll see TCU, though, because South Carolina is that side of the bracket. South Carolina, I mean, Dawn Staley, they're just a dynasty
I don't
over
think
there.
TCU
And then we got UConn in our side of the bracket. So, gosh, I have hope, David, but end of the day, hope only gets you so far.
Now, what is the ceiling here for Notre Dame? Do you see them going to the Final Four, maybe?
The ceiling is the Elite Eight.
Okay.
If you get to the Final Four, that is, you are going into the outer space now, and you're on a rocket ship, and see how far the jet fuel takes you. But, yeah, the floor is probably around 32.
Right.
I mean, you got to beat Fairfield, and then from there, if you lose to Ohio State, it's really not the end of the world. All things considered, it was not a terrible season. You just got to hope you get Hannah Hidalgo back for next year, and you can rinse and repeat a little bit and add some great prospects that are coming in from high school. They have a pretty decent recruiting class. Get a few big-time transfers, enough of this, like, hey, let's get these role player transfers. Get a superstar transfer to complement Hidalgo and see where you can go from there.
Yeah, this is going to be a good tournament to really test out the waters of the rest of the college basketball because there's going to be a lot of good returners and a lot of good newcomers for next year. It's going to be strong teams. I don't think this is really the best WNBA draft ever that they've seen. I mean,
yeah, next year's draft.
It's
next year's the draft where you got Juju Watkins, you got Hannah Hidalgo, you got a few other players as well coming in that are some big time.
Yeah, but either way,
names. So
it's not great for the WNBA. It's great for women's basketball.
great for college basketball. You get some more stars back next year.
While
I
we're
agree.
here in college, hey, let's make it great. Let's see some good
Facts.
basketball. We have seen some great basketball
That's
this
the
year.
nice thing about women's basketball. They stay for
They
the
do.
most part.
It's a lot of loyalty. That's the one thing men's basketball is missing. Women's still holding on strong. And speaking of teams that hold on strong, the only ones that Notre Dame would really have a problem with up in their quadrant would be North Carolina or UConn. Those are my predictions. Those are the two teams that could be the Goliath to their David. Either way, I think the Fighting Irish have a good chance to at least make it to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I would say, and this is obvious because they're the 2 seed, Vanderbilt will be a tough challenge, only because they have a superstar as well. Michaela Blake's averaging 27 a game, and then you got Aubrey Galvin, who's averaging 13 to complement her, kind of like a fire and ice type duo there. We'll see how they play. It is about stars at the end of the day, and they got a few stars on their team. But Hannah Hidalgo is the best player in college basketball. You need her to really, truly embody that. And now Duke is a 3 seed. Irish held tight to Duke for quite some time in that game. Eventually, the wheels fell off the wagon a little bit, but they really fought back, and they showed a lot of resilience. So, curious to see how they do. And David, I'm also curious to see now how some of the spring sport teams do, as well as, you know, we're really kicking into a new gear here on campus with baseball and softball and even lacrosse. But I know you got a whole lot to talk about with baseball, especially because they've been having a bit of a hot stretch as of late.
Yeah, let's go right over to the diamond here for Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are off to a hot start. Now 11-6. Now it should be a little higher. Should be at least 11-5. That's what I was gonna say. Louisville, they went down to Kentucky, or the Fighting Irish went down to Kentucky to face Louisville over spring break, over the weekend, and killed the rubber game. It was unfortunate. They won 14-11 in their first one. Did you watch any of the second game? I'm not
So
sure.
I saw the grand slams.
Right. 2 grand slams in the first game.
Yeah. Well, in the same inning.
Yeah. I believe it was the fourth, right?
Yeah, in the same inning, you had 2 grand slams.
Yeah,
what
so
are the odds of that? I have never really
both in the
seen
fourth.
anything like
Noah Coy had one, and then Davis Johnson.
Coy, the fish.
Yeah, the two guys going at it.
Yeah.
Hit one out of the park, scored 8 runs in that fourth inning alone. It was huge. for the
Baseball
Fighting
might be
Irish.
back, man. Shout out Sean Stifler.
I think Stifler has something cooking up here in South Bend. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold it together for the second match. Notre Dame went into that game feeling great, entered, they entered the 7th inning up by 2, and then they gave up 3 runs to the Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th. It was a tough break, especially with a forced walk. They had a guy go through. They had to force one guy through, and that was a decision by Stifler to load up the bases, and then it didn't go their way to close out the inning. Let in 2 more guys.
He's gutsy, though. He's gutsy. And you
It was a good attempt to try to win the series just in that second game alone. And I love the attempt. I love that that's the aggression we're going with this season because last year you saw Notre Dame have such a hot finish to their year, didn't matter because of
Yeah.
how weak their start was. This is the year where he's saying we are starting hot. We're going College World Series or bust, and that's
Yeah.
the way I love this mentality. You have such a good team, even after losing so many seniors and transfers last year. You still have a team that has a lot of talent on it, a lot of leaders being built up. That's what I've been talking about a lot at NDTV.
Yeah.
Bino Waters is one of those guys. Mark Catrani
Bino's
is
a
one of those
beast.
guys. Those are the two big barrels here for Notre Dame, and they're holding on their own. It's just now closing out games, kind of like you said, testing the waters of like the extent of how aggressive you can be against teams like Louisville, because that's that's a medium team, I'd say. I'd give it a medium, where that's someone where you're okay if you can lose 2 games and that won't affect the rest of your season. But you'd love if you can go out there and force at least 2 games, maybe even 3 wins. Yeah. The final thing I want to say about this is in the rubber match on Sunday, Notre Dame lost by 9 runs. However, they put up 12 of their own. It was a 21-12 matchup. There was 4 home run guys for the Cardinals, and then Notre Dame had 2 of their own. I mean, it was just back and forth.
Wow. Yeah.
Swinging
that's
for
a
the
game
fences
right there.
action. That was a huge game. And Ty Uber, who had won ACC Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago, gave up 7 earned runs. A little bit of a shock.
Yeah.
Kind of frightening here for Notre Dame. I don't think it's anything to freak out about for the rest of the season, but it is something that hopefully this is the last game that he's going to give up 7 earned runs, because you can't be doing that.
You always have a fluke here and there. Now, of course, they have Central Michigan. That game for tomorrow was postponed, but they also play them on Wednesday. Clemson, David, top 25 team in the
That's
land,
a team you have to
19th
get
in the
to
country.
against if you want to prove yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get a series win against them at home, that would be huge. But it's still going to be a really tough game. North Carolina, 14th team in the country. The thing is, the ACC is just so tough.
Do you want to hear the stats on that?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Notre Dame is 31st in the country. That is huge.
Wow.
Never thought I'd be saying that
Yeah.
in my 4 years here, especially with how many we lost last year.
Sure.
Thought it'd be a couple rebuild years. Now they're right back at it. Top 30, almost top 30 in the country. They're 9th in the ACC. There's 8 other teams above them within that top 30.
That was the issue last year, too, because last year
incredible.
their schedule, if I recall, was very tough late in the stretch right there. I mean, they had some really tough series, and now you also have Florida State mid-April, and we'll keep talking about it on the Dailey Dowens, but yeah, so many tough games
Right.
for the Irish.
Florida State and Georgia Tech are both top 5 teams. And then you got North Carolina, Virginia, NC State, Pitt, Louisville, Wake Forest, and Duke, all above Notre Dame. And it's just not even it's uncomparable. This conference is dominating baseball right now in a way we've never seen before.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
You know,
baseball
it's
continues to
nice
heat up.
weather, man. Them and the SEC are just so elite.
Yeah, you got the Atlantic Coast Conference, which is literally just all Southern teams. And
Yeah.
then we got up here, South Bend. It's snowing right now. And
Yeah.
players are having to deal with
Gosh.
that. It's definitely a disadvantage. Like people,
100% recruiting disadvantage, too.
Yeah, it's
huge
huge.
recruiting disadvantage in baseball.
even not even just recruiting for college, recruiting for the MLB as well. These guys don't want to come up here.
No.
Nobody wants to come up
They
here in
don't.
South Bend when it's March and you got 20-degree weather coming out here, blizzard, snow.
Go to Florida, man.
Yeah, why not go to
Tons of schools
FAU,
in Florida.
FSU? Why FAU is not even ACC, but still,
No, tons. I knew you mean
all
though.
these great
All the
baseball
Florida
schools
yeah.
coming down, and Notre Dame's just up here, one of the top teams that people don't even want to give a look at. So hopefully Stifler is making the change, saying regardless of the weather, this is a team that is a must-watch, and I love it so far.
Yeah, I love it too. Hopefully, baseball is good, man. It's a fun sport to watch. Tell you that. Softball as well. Been up and down a little, but hey, they got a big series win against Stanford, so we'll see how they do when they play Clemson this week, and we'll keep you updated with that come Thursday.
Are you on the call
and
for any of
next
those
week.
games?
I am. So
Hey, there we
that
go.
is the one series I'm on the call for. Really pumped for that one, and yeah, it's gonna be one heck of a time.
Yeah, we're going to love it up here. I wish I was able to call that one. I think I'm going to try to be on UNC, maybe.
Yeah.
But either you can't go wrong with ACC baseball.
No.
No
Can't.
matter what series you get, it's always a good time to watch. I wish we had FSU up here. They're down in Tallahassee. That might hopefully give the Irish a little summer ball to play with.
Got these seniors smiling over here.
Oh,
They
they're
always
ready.
cause trouble. Looks
The
like
grin
they're
on
not
their
going to
faces,
today.
and you know what? We're ready for them. Don't tell them just yet. I got some audio. We're gonna
Oh,
be
really?
we're gonna be firing back at them
All right.
today because they think they can walk in here and just say whatever they want.
Let's see if they do. Let's see if they walk away. We'll see.
Better be walking away.
Yeah, facts.
No Jack Rinaldi today. Just Tyler Reedy and Ryan Murphy.
It's been a good show, though, man.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's been a good show so far.
Okay, they're walking away. A pretty informational show, which
Yeah.
we'll take. And good to be back for spring break. Talk with you, David. And we'll have a great show on Thursday as well. I'm sure there's tons of fun stuff to talk about with the World Baseball Classic and everything we got cooking up right here on the Daily Downs. But
Yeah,
David, it's been a pleasure, man.
World Baseball Classic Final. We'll be back into March Madness play and even more live action here on the Daily Downs. Thanks for sticking back with us after spring break. Get ready for another 2 months of action here on WVFI.
Let's go.
Last night, she said, oh, baby, I feel so.
You're listening to WVFI, the voice of the Fighting Irish. Tune into the